Hello, welcome back. Tonight I will talk about Asmodeus. As I've said, it is first and foremost a book that I have written, a grimoire on Asmodeus, for Asmodeus, in honor of Asmodeus. Of course, in my books I create something that it is intellectual, delightful, as well as sensual, that it has a form of pleasure. So it is, what to say, a book that speaks about those elements, and Asmodeus is a being that delights in those elements. And of course it's always very interesting to connect with Asmodeus or learn from Asmodeus or understand better. There's the nature of things, the better nature of things that Asmodeus has knowledge or power over. There is that element of knowing, of wisdom, or the wise king. Asmodeus is a wise king. It is a type of king that is not in our world. It is a king from another world. Asmodeus does carry that element of that faraway place, the element of the fire that came from the sky, that came one day to us. Of course, elements of God as well. Always connection to sky always speaks about God. So it is the Uranus, the sky of Uranus. Uranus is the Lord, the King of the sky. Now represents God. It represents that element of that the heavens. The heavens are in the sky in the heavens, or the heavens in the sky. So Asmodeus does carry that supernatural origin or supernatural power, or something that it is not part of our world, it's not part of our planet. It has a different origin. So Asmodeus, of course, only through that carry already a lot of meaning, carries a lot of different type of understanding that one can approach in this lifetime. So the subject is always there, the book is always there. Who is going to approach it? Who is going to open it? Who is going to read it? Who is going to talk about it? Who is that person that is going to use their voice to speak about those type of things, those interesting elements? To say, well, the book has beautiful this, or the book has beautiful this. There are different elements that one can admire in a book. But Asmodeus said, well, my book doesn't represent Asmodeus necessarily in the meaning, here he's Mr. Asmodeus, my book, my grimoire, speaks about that occultic hidden knowledge of Asmodeus, of those elements that he brings that are unnatural, that are different, that are the specialty, that uniqueness of the creation, of that power of what God represents in its purest form, the idea of creation, and the idea of imitation, meaning that nothing is the same. There is certain truth that it is divided into, to say, there is an imitation, but there is a uniqueness, there is a perfectionism in the other part. So there is an element of more. That element represents Asmodeus as well. And his voice is harsh. It does sound like a voice of, the voice represents a lot, of course, represents the inner being, that inner element of that person or of that being. So the voice of Asmodeus is harsh, is sharp, has a certain rustiness to it, or some type of restlessness to it. It is that young wild spirit of that element of saying yes to the unknown, or believing in things that only you want to look on further on. There's an element of the I, of course. In his representation, this recording, I speak in other recordings. If you want to check out the entire playlist of Asmodeus, it is in the link description box. Of course, in every recording I focus on different aspects of him or the book, but it's all one in one. This element of repetition, that it is the element of bringing things together, or the repetition has a very beautiful and powerful element of the unity through a text. That's why I use sometimes repetitions in my text with obvious, clear intent of creation, of creating that different feeling through imitation, or that element repeated itself creates a different type of meaning. So that says that nothing is the same, because even if I put a text it's exactly the same, you'll read it differently because it's in a different part of the story or through the repetition of it. It carries already a different meaning depending on the placement where it is, or the repetition of the name of the character. It is placed with a certain discernment on my part, how and where, no? The text is arranged as the purpose of a book is to, my work is to create a text so that you have no problems reading it and focusing on the storyline or the story or the beauty of the text, and by eliminating those aspects that one can find difficult or take that taste of authenticity and truth. So there is the element of plus and minus that I have to work through a text or any type of book when I'm writing or editing it. So my work on the book is on the body, on the text of the book, on the idea, on the inspirational part of the book, then the correcting, editing part of the book, and the publishing aspects of the book. This I've done with many of my books, where I speak about different thematics, grimoires or novels, or different poetry. I write different genres. Of course, there is an interesting point. If you're interested in that, my work as a writer, you can check my description box. There you have all my books or a part of my books that are all available on Amazon. So there is a link there to my Amazon where you can see all my books now in cover, in story, and so on, with the front and back cover, with the description, with the price, with the ability to order it wherever you are. So there is that element of the paper, of the creation of something, of an idea that is brought to life. So the element of magic, of the different element that brings something extra and that creates the magic and then brings the life. That's the element of Asmodeus. It's like little fireworks that works just here and then here. Is such a pleasant release, such a beautiful spectacle of color, such a celebration. Is the meaning of Asmodeus as well. His being his entire being is a form of celebration. Of the color blue, of the color black. In other recordings I speak about the different colors and the meaning of those colors. Now in the regard of Asmodeus, it is a very beautiful full type of blue that is filled with light. It carries that light nuance and then it transforms in this beautiful blue, just rich type of blue, almost like light type of blue, but very rich, very dark as well. Or the element of the shadow moon, the half moon or the quarter moon. Those two are elements of Asmodeus, as I've said. Of course, the element of magic, no, of the air, of something that changes through the air, something that changes shore, or changes direction, or changes movement. That element of surprise, or the element of something fine, something spectacular, but in a fine way. So there are all these beautiful contrasts when it comes to Asmodeus. So he has knowledge about the different parts of the elements, of the different elements that everything is contained of different particles or elements of different principles or different materials or different forms. Now it's like everything is made from everything in some way or another. There is an element of, yes, this is this and this and this and this, and they, like this they work on this and they form this. So it is a process that it is celebrated as well, no? And in one recording I speak about his name as well. It is an interesting aspect, of course, the analysis of the name, or the way I do it, at least for me, say, well, my knowledge is like self-taught or self-known for me, myself, the way I correlate to things, or how I choose to see things, or how my sensitivity or senses tell me to focus on something or move on. There is the aspect of, yes, now it's blue, then it turns to pink, then it turns to yellow, it's like, well, the repetition is why I said it's very important, otherwise it will be the same color. So, well, it's just red. Oh, enjoy, no? That need of repetition that brings that excitement of something new. Well, now it's blue, oh, now it changes to yellow, now it's red. That element of change, of that repetition, but with a slightly change, with a new thing, with, the eye turns to what it moves, it turns to the color, or to the strongest color. and there is a effect and a cause, of course, no? So there are certain principles that Asmodeus teaches. It's not only to say, well, it's just 3 topics for today. No. Asmodeus has many topics. Meaning to say he's very knowledgeable. So he has interest and abilities from different spheres of knowledge or different imitation of that knowledge as well. So he can read a paper on top and under. He has that ability of the duality mind, of being able to see the 2 sides of the coin, or to see the chance that lays in the no, or the danger in the yes. There is always a second aspect that follows the moon and the shadow, the light and the shadow. How to be able to see that in that way both. So one, has more knowledge or more understanding of something through that light and shadow, or from the shadow and light. They are movable. They are able to take each place one after another. They are intermovable, or something like that. Intermobile, they can change place or change the aspect of each other. Through that contrast, they can change place, no? The minus goes to minus, or the plus goes to plus, or the minus goes to plus, or the plus goes to minus. They are interchangeable. That's the word. So, it is mathematical in a way. The mind of Asmodeus is finally a mathematical mind. That's why I can easily describe it, whatever that means for everyone, no? But it is very much about physics, mathematics, the inertia law, the different laws or the principles of the cosmos or the universe, or those principles are very Greek and very Romans, very old type of knowledge that is very essential and true and basic, and are the ideal or the principles of that type of knowledge, no? Which is like law, order, the law of physics, or different principles in mathematics. As I said, it is a different range or genre of knowledge that he carries. Asmodeus is very mathematical. Like formulas, like really complicated things, or metaphors in a metaphysical or metaphorical way. So he has a certain type of mind. He has his own mind. It is genius, no? A master genius. He is the master genius. Asmodeus has the mind of a genius, or the genius of the mastermind. There is always the element, 1 moves to 2 and 2 moves back to 1. Of the element of the magician as well. 2 is always a number of the magician. Why? Because from 2 you can get more, and from 2 it's easy to go to 1. So the magician is precaut. The magician knows the danger before. There's the element of knowing something before it happens. The magician has a certain ability to read certain things in a certain way. And there is not necessarily a question how. There's the ability of the magician, as I said, to change form, to change position, to create that form of space or distance or time in a way or another. There is the element of planning something, or like the domino effect, or the putting things in place. No, there is that question of the future, or the question of the past in one way or another, a direction that one is moving from the present moment in the future or into the past. There is that connection. Asmodeus is from the future. Asmodeus is, as I've said, not part of our world. It is a faraway being that is far away from us. That's the meaning of Asmodeus. It has that, carries that darkness and distance in his name as well. It is something far away, in the stars, in the sky. Deus speaks about the sky, so it is something that is close to the sky or to God, but at the same time far away. It's an aspect of God that it is very, in the book, as I said, it is, as I said, it's a representation of my own book, of my own work, through the understanding of Asmodeus. But as I said, the book is the best material to read. That's a book has its price and value, of course, no. But there I represent even nicer, in a nicely way or form, these aspects of Asmodeus. this is, I've said, my own interpretation of those elements, which I remember now when I think about the book or when I think about Asmodeus. In the principle of the 8, there is the principle of the number 8. And in the same time, there is the element of Asmodeus. It's 8 letters plus 2, the number of the magician. It creates the 10. It creates the completion, the full circle. There is the element of very good, brilliant, spectacular, cosartig, or very, very, or forte, no? There is the element of something powerful, something very knowledgeable, something very special and unique in Asmodeus. One has to realize that beauty of Asmodeus to can even talk or be able to talk about him in that way that he deserves. There is that honor that goes to Asmodeus through his courage, through his beauty, through his power, through his knowledge, through his mind of that mathematical aspect that can explain and one can understand many beautiful things through it. Element of mathematics, no? And how that element work with the language as well. He is a master in the language as well, a master in the spoken or written world of knowledge about that part of history, of the knowledge of the word, of literature, of the sentences, of the poetry, of all that it entails, the literary works. So there is the element of the book as well, no? So, well, it is a grimoire, it is a book. It does speak about Asmodeus in this unique way, in this unique, even new type of knowledge, no? So every book, of course, is new. It brings something new. So it's not wrong to say that, no? The new is part of the present, no? The old is part of the past. The future is part of, almost like a dream that not yet been accomplished. Something that is an element of the 8 plus 2, the element of the plenitude of something, number 8, and receiving that extra 2, now to have the 10, that number of the magician, that ability to take the last 2 steps or the next 2 steps that bring you on that place, position or crown you in that space of realization of number 10. Number 10 is a very beautiful, it's the perfect number. Number 10 is, say, the active and passive. It represents a lot of beautiful elements through the 1 and through the 0, no? It's the element of more, it's the decade, it's the 2 halves together, 5 plus 5, no? It's the element of 2, which is the element of unity through that number of 5, which is 10, and 5 is the element of positive change, of the balance of that magician. Of course, 5 is a number of the magician as well as number 7. And Asmodeus, now for his name, in one recording I do talk about his name even more in detail, where I observe the different letters or numbers or any feeling that I get with the letters or the meaning of how I understand the name, even from a linguistic point of view. But there is always, of course, a certain quality of each name that remains secret or hidden. Those elements are connected to Asmodeus as well. Thank you so much for listening. I will continue another time talking about Asmodeus and my book. If you want to check out the book or the playlist, you have the links in the description box. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, bye.